broadcasting live out of a basement in Appleton, Wisconsin. You're tuned into Fox Cities Core on WCZR Code Zero Radio. We're the show that gives you an opportunity to call in and be a part of the show. Our call-in line is 920-358-0795. Core. My next guests appeared on the show a few months ago. They're back to talk about a new release they have called the Basement Tapes that came out today. They also have a album release show tonight at the Appleton Beer Factory in Appleton, Wisconsin. I'd like to welcome back the Traveling Suitcase.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Andy.
It's good to have you guys back.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
I've missed you guys, and this album is really enjoyable. I listened to it today. If people haven't checked it out, I suggest you go get it. Before we talk about the album, though, let's talk about the album release party, which is taking place tonight. If people are interested in going to this event, where can they find out more about it? Where can they get tickets?
Well, anywhere that you can find us online, so Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. We've been posting about it pretty annoyingly for a while. So, we'll be at Appleton Beer Factory. Right now, I think there's still tickets up online. And then there's going to be tickets at the door, and there's a band Seesaw coming from Madison. I think right now we're looking at, I don't know if the pre-sales are happening anymore. I know it was $10 pre-sale, but I think it might be 20. I think we're looking at the 20 doll hairs.
Doll hairs,
so,
that's it though.
Yep, doll hairs. So.
Have you played with Seesaw before?
Yeah. Suitcase has played with Seesaw at a few different Madison events. I know there was like some of those bigger things that we did, 10 years ago at those like big art fest things, and we met a couple of bands that way.
Was fun, yeah.
And then I had opened up for them at the Stone Arch must have been like 5 years ago, doing just like solo stuff. So that's the last time I saw them. So it'll be really fun.
Great.
We've seen them.
The new album, it's got to be exciting to finally get the album released.
Yes.
When you were here last time, we were kind of talking about it. It was in process. You guys had a lot of songs written for it. You played 2 of them here.
Yeah.
When an album comes out, it's almost like it's a new phase in a band's life. This album kind of signifies sort of a turning of the corner. You did it all yourself.
Yep.
You recorded it yourself, which is different from previous albums where you were going into a studio.
Mm-hmm.
As far as doing all of that production work yourself, did that kind of change how you went about recording the songs? Did the process stay similar to how you've done it, or like how did you approach this?
The process,
We could relax way more.
yeah,
Do a lot
it
more
was
what we wanted.
relaxed. We also had to re-record a little bit of it because last time we were here, we had someone who was playing drums with us, and the situation just didn't work out. So we were like halfway through the album, and I was like,
It's a journey.
Yes,
A lot of outtakes.
yep,
The
yep.
deluxe edition's going to have 9 discs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But Brandon definitely stayed at the helm of chaos when we had to re-record. There was a few tracks where it was like literally me drumming over drums that were already there, which was a challenge of its own. But
Nobody's a champ like Nick on that, though. So
it was one of those things where I think I was really excited to not play drums for a second and focus on things vocally and focus on the songs in a different form, so I'm really grateful for that. But then at the end of the day, I was like, oh yeah, here comes this recollection of like the only person that should play drums in this band is me. And it's always a painful recollection.
Not the first recollection.
No, it's not. And it's always one of those things where, but it's good because I feel like I have this, there is, vocally, I'm so much stronger than I was if I would have came into this playing drums right away. So it's just that my brain rewired differently, and I'm glad we had the opportunity to do so. But this whole record was just, breathing and also just like, when Brandon and I made some of these songs years ago, when we would just like do this ourselves, it always had this sound to it.
Yeah.
And it was almost like easier to recreate that sound and really pay homage to it because we've done it so many times.
Yeah, it was just a more refined version of what we've been doing in the basement anyway, which we always were thinking maybe we could release, and now we're just like, yes.
Yeah, we're just going to keep... Yeah, and it's beefy the way that, I don't know, it's everything that I've always wanted it to sound like, and I don't care what anybody thinks. And that's like the weirdest thing to say.
I'm straight up pleased.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You should be.
Straight up.
You're very
Straight
good
up.
at what you do, Brandon.
Yeah.
It sounds great
Yeah.
because you're very good.
Well, you guys, thank you much.
So Brandon, I mean, you did all the engineering on this album,
Yes.
and that's something a stranger to doing that. You've done that for quite some time, I
I've
think.
been an amateur engineer so much, I don't know if I'm going to be professional ever, but I feel like, I don't know how you get the accolade. But yeah, I have been doing it a while.
I don't know. This record is really good, Brandon.
I think,
so,
maybe I'll get
this is
a
an
badge.
accolade for
I'm
you.
gonna buy a badge online. But yeah.
You
so-
buy your online badge.
Yeah.
We'll buy it for you.
Thanks. Oh
We'll
my
get
gosh.
you your accolades.
I'm pleased with how it came out. Yeah, I've been learning a lot of stuff. Certainly during lockdown, I just like mixed, So I sharpened up a little there. So yeah.
And as far as working with Nick, I mean, you've worked with him forever, so it's not like you were recording some people that just walked in the door and.
No, I've been toting Tascam along to everything we ever did back then. So
Yeah. I mean,
Nick's
the
into
second that Brandon and I played music together, we've just been recording it.
Yeah.
So, I think that you say that you feel like you're an amateur, but I think that we're perfecting who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, not in a bad way.
yeah, believe
It's a
in
journey.
yourself, man, because we believe in you, or we wouldn't have let you, create this, it's...
I'm proud of our journey.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Brandon, did you feel a little more pressure on this one since you were spinning the knobs?
Well, I did the naughty thing and mastered it too, also. So I felt that pressure for sure. Like, oh my lord, I'm gonna screw something up. And maybe there's a few things here, but you know what? That's absolutely still proud. No, it's under the bridge, and I feel like it's good enough, or just good.
Well, on my first listen today, it really sounds just as good as anything else I've heard. So
Okay. Wow.
I feel
Cheers.
you did a fantastic job.
Well, thank you.
But then obviously the rest of the band is happy with how it turned out as well.
Yep.
Big time.
Made
It's all
sure
about creating, a sound that you're proud of, and I don't know if I've ever focused that way before. I've just always kind of been a people pleaser, especially when it comes to the Suitcase. I feel like the same thing is kind of happening again, which is beautiful, where it's like we got this really cool buzz around our live shows, and we've had this incredible summer.
Very lucky, very awesome.
Yeah,
summer.
we are blessed. And that's such a cliche thing to say, but we really are. Our supporters and our friends, you too. You know what I mean? We're really blessed with everybody that's around us, and we're just so allowed to continue to do that. But we wouldn't have gotten here without the wisdom of all the other engineers that we've met, without the support that we have, and without being blessed. And I think we're just going to keep leaning into that, and we're going to keep recording ourselves, and we're just going to keep busting out a bunch of stuff in the next few years and try to keep the longevity going, because I believe in every single person in this band very much. And that's for once in my life, I believe in what we're saying and what we're doing, because it has nothing to do with anyone else, just us. Just the ninjas.
Yep.
So.
Good confidence, yes.
Yeah.
And so you guys are, you recorded it yourself, you're putting it out yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kind of approaching how you promote it any differently than you have in the past?
I mean, for me, I am personally probably going to email a lot of different people. Going through schematics the last few days, especially, obviously the album is on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on all of the things that don't pay us. But putting together Bandcamp, the Traveling Suitcase has made thousands of dollars off of Bandcamp. And I'm going to continue to push Bandcamp, because that is crazy to me. It's crazy to me that there's a platform out there that is easy to set up, almost like MySpace. So for me, I want to do more interpersonal stuff, like just messaging people. I want people to come to our shows to be able to get it. That tie-dye t-shirt is something that we all made collectively together. We have a bunch of different colors and things like that. But I think...
Get it in there.
Yeah. I just want things to be organic and kind of made to go, instead of overproducing everything and thinking we're gonna by the time that, you know what I mean, just making these unrealistic goals as a band is just, I'm over it. I don't care what happens next year. I just want to maybe we could make 30 more t-shirts in 2 months, you know what I mean, and just this and put our heart into it.
Just never stop. Just
Yeah.
keep moving.
Just keep moving.
The Green Screen Kids were here at one point, and they brought up how people used to pay $1.29 for a song, and then they thought around COVID, kind of the moods shifted to now everybody wants to stream everything. Mm-hmm. But to support a band, I don't think people realize one song at like $1, like how many streams does it take? I mean, unless somebody's listening to your song 1,000 times.
I mean, yeah. I feel like all those streaming services, I mean, that's why you're seeing writers' strikes. And for me, like, a big thing, especially with, like, how I want to advertise this and how I want to, like, maintain my band, because this is my business, this is my crew, and we're local, and I'm really proud of the locality that we have. And I think that Wisconsin's a really cool state. I think that there's a lot of progressive things happening here. I love going into small towns. Probably shouldn't be there, but at the same time, I like going there. I think that our differences bring us together. I'm craving unity. I want to unify with anything that isn't me, because how am I going to learn anything if I just go, you know what I mean? As much as I love safe spaces, like last night at Pride Fest was amazing. Like we have to go into these spaces that each one of us identifies with, right? Because I'm not, I'm the only queer, really, I don't know how everybody identifies. I don't want to speak for everybody, but
I'll go down the line here. Just kidding.
Yeah, right. No, we don't need it. Yeah. How queer are you on a scale of 1 to 10? And that's like that. We don't have conversations like that, but like we support each other, and these guys are fucking fantastic allies. I don't remember what I was gonna say with all of that because my ADD is taking me on the like emotional
It was a beautiful
ADHD thing, but like I don't know. I don't remember what I was. Dang it.
Well, you played on the highest drum riser, you said yesterday that you ever played on.
Yes, it was moving a lot because it was...
Was it the highest or the fast? Or
it was, there were two risers stuck together, and I was on the middle of it, and it was just it was separating the entire time, and like my drums were literally just falling off of the riser. My cymbal stand just vibrated off at one point, and I was like, this is madness.
It really added the suspense.
It really did. I was like, I must have looked just like a juggler or something last night.
That keeps it exciting. It's like the Mile Music Bus where you're waiting for somebody to fall.
Yep, absolutely. It did. I will say, there was a few times last night in my head I was like, I'm so glad I've done the Mile Music Bus because I don't think I'd be able to handle this. I would have, you know what I mean? I'm laughing at it. It's funny, instead of me being like, oh, because like most of my stress streams are kind of based around there, The sound crew was awesome. It sounded really great.
Yeah.
The lights show was fantastic. I just think I'm scared of risers now, dude.
Well, thanks for doing the show today, because I know, show last night, this show.
Yeah, but you snuck us in too, so you're doing it. We got we were lucky for the twofer on your
My
side.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, it's great to talk to you.
Yeah.
So
great to be here.
You weren't here the last show for the origin story.
Well, first time here.
Yeah. So, you and Nick, when you guys met, was there just an instant connection because you sort of are like the Lennon McCartney of the Suitcase.
Yeah, I'd say so. And what's the question regarding that? I don't know. We've just been like brothers in music since 2001, so it's like we've melded together by now. It's great to have that.
We were instant friends. Like it was one of those things that, and when Carol came over, it was like all of us, right? Like we
had
just
a trifecta.
Yeah, it was an instant friends, and it was kind of like I finally had been playing drums so long, waiting for somebody to play with. I think when I came home, I was like, Mom, Dad, they're coming over. Yeah. And we recorded the second that we could record.
Yeah.
And it was wild, and we pushed each other. I think about like how scared I was to do those vocals. I should have sent I'll send. Wow. I'm gonna send you the first thing we ever recorded.
I know
that was the first time I've ever
We had to
sang.
leave the room, to be fair, but other than that, I had no idea.
Yeah, it was the first time. Oh, I was terrified.
To me,
yeah. I've sang All Around the World by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was like 13.
Yeah. So
I'll have to send it to you. It's
those
awful.
tapes are out there for the even further deluxe editions.
But we were so proud of it, dude. We came back into jazz band on Monday with our tape player, and we were like, check out what we made over the weekend.
We made a band, it was an exciting
and
band.
Then 2 weeks later, there was another school band or another little band that was formed, and they're like, check out what we recorded, and it was Under the Bridge, and it was it was really cool because you can see that, but it's neat to go, wow, man, our relationship and the music that we've made has always influenced other people to be like, well, I want to do that.
It's interesting, the whole time if you track it.
Todd, that's so fun.
It's crazy. It's wild. And it's a beautiful journey this whole time. So it's easy. We're writing new songs now, and you'll do a fill, and I'll just be like burp, 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 and then it'll be like that. Just makes sense. It's very nice to have that easy. So we're blessed. Really blessed.
It's locked in at this point.
You mentioned the Chili Peppers, and that's kind of another full circle thing because you cite seeing the Chili Peppers in Colorado is kind of what made you
I
kind of
mean,
sparked it to
I just love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think that's like they're like my rock and roll. Just I don't know. They've been doing it for so long. You know, they're there. They're my consistent, just like idols, right? So I just
Do
think.
you have a favorite Chili Pepper song?
Sir Psycho Sexy. It is a naughty song.
Yeah.
I was like,
You brought
that song
up
is
before.
really naughty. I just
That's
think.
consistent. I can vouch for
Oh,
that.
yeah, I've always loved that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got suspended for that song in 7th grade because I wrote the lyrics on my folder, which I definitely shouldn't have done.
Oh.
It is an awful song. That whole record, though, I think Blood, Sex, Sugar, Magic is just something else.
It's an amazing
You got a
album.
19-year-old. Frusciante is fucking 19.
Yeah.
What?
Amazing.
What? The guitar tones, the snare drum. Oh, my God. That
Yeah.
whole record is just so good.
Didn't-
I don't know, man.
They recorded that in a mansion, didn't they?
Yeah.
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 I don't think that mansion still stands.
They made a little like I think it's called Funky Monks.
Yeah, it's
is
a cool
the
movie
is
to
the
watch.
movie about that? It's just gnarly. They're all so young, and like Chad Smith is like like just like looks so
And
ridiculous.
they're portable recording in a house, and that was,
Yep.
gets your wheels turning.
Yeah, they're just always I don't know, man. Everybody loves to hate on the Chili Peppers, but I think they're one of the most like. I don't know, man. They've done so much too, and they've pushed it to the limits. And they wouldn't be the Chili Peppers if they, you know what I mean? If they
Yeah.
weren't good, or if they, I don't know, man.
So,
It's been a fun part of the journey.
Brandon, you're a huge Chili Pepper fan then as well, or did your musical
I am a
interest?
Chili Peppers fan. I'm not gonna compete for Nick's fandom.
No,
but
no.
I am gonna.
Brandon's
declare
like
that I like them a lot. I got
You're
the
a
new,
Zeppelin
Well, I'm a Led
freak,
Zeppelin classic
yeah.
guy, but I really
Yeah.
love the Chili Peppers and their newest album, The Dream Machine. Is that it? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really good.
yeah.
I mean, I loved it. So, yeah, not a hater.
So you're more of a classic rock guy?
Big classic rock guy, oldies guy. Yeah,
Interesting.
golden
Yep.
oldies,
Yeah,
the cheesy ones.
yeah. Brandon is like, yeah, we're all of our veins are completely different, and that,
But
you know,
we
like
do
that's.
connect up nicely, though. You know?
What's up?
Like we just.
But yeah, well, I know
we got
it's
Bob
weird.
Seger
It's like,
over here,
yeah,
and we
like,
got a lot of
honestly,
90s
though-
floating around. It's great.
I don't know, Nate. What's your big thing then?
Oh, just like 90s alternative rock, grunge
Yeah.
stuff, you
That's
know.
the deepest cut.
The deepest? I don't know. I mean, the Toadies, maybe? Or
Yeah.
But you also have this affinity,
Failure.
like Nate, like loves music. Like, getting to know Nate over the summer, like so intimately. Like Nate loves like '80s ballads
Oh, yeah.
and like loves
Oh, yeah.
music that I was like really like, oh, this is stupid. So like all
Journey?
summer, yeah, Nate, yeah,
I mean,
Nate's.
come on.
It's been a journey summer for me, a journey where I'm like, I don't like no, and then like all of these things, like even as on the way here, it was a journey song. I was like, God damn it, man.
I finally got him to watch the Phil Collins video where he's like walking around
Approaching the
the stage.
drums.
Yeah,
It all
they've
so-
helped me come to terms with Phil Collins. A lot of things have happened this summer, but then you're a Seeger freak.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
You
like, I mean, yeah.
It got deep. We
I mean-
went out of town a few weeks ago, and there was just so much that just was just revealed, and I just was like, well, I never saw this, but then I'm like, this makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Seeger comes to us all sometimes.
Yeah.
So lots of different sort of
As I, yeah.
influences coming into the Suitcase
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Is Kilroy ever going to get back together?
It's probably impossible to get back together. Sorry, Nate, please.
Well, yeah. I mean, we are missing one of our members who's no longer with us. So
This said Carol, who was in the
Right.
trifecta with Nick and I in 2001. So then, of course, he was a member of Kilroy after that. So,
but
and he's no longer on the earth, so it's hard to play.
the remaining three of us do jam as often as we can, and
All the time, yeah. We
Yeah.
try to as much as we can, and it's kind of like my wrecking crew for like we just make demos, and we're just but we love jamming, so it's a great combo. So yeah.
It's probably nice having Nate in the Suitcase now.
It's awesome, yeah. And again, we got ESP on every which way now, so it's beautiful. Yeah.
So kind of coming back around to this album now. Obviously, the basement tapes is because it was recorded in your basement.
That's right.
Oh.
And it's
You
also
didn't realize?
and,
Gosh.
and it's also one of those things where like we were making basement tapes back in the day, which we wanted to honor.
Yeah.
So when the band first started, we would just like record everything we were making in the basement.
And we've
And then-
homaged the band before because one of our concerts was called a TV broadcast one was called The Last Waltz. So
Yep.
we're fans of the band too, and there's a little bit of an homage, you know.
Yeah, I feel like we like to
I love the album artwork. Was this? I mean, these are
it
like
turned out
hand
cool.
decorated tapes, right? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
photographed
So
for the.
Todd did "I Want to Love Her," and then I did "Wings." Brandon did "King Eliot," which was an amazing tribute to my cat who passed away.
Roomies too, cat.
And Brandon and Elliot were really close when we were roommates. My cat did not care about me at all. He just loved Brandon, and he wore a bow tie like the entire year and a half that we lived in that place. And then Casanova I did, Mrs. Knife Nate did, and then that end of the thing with Voodoo Chicken, we did that one. So it was, just a collective. This whole thing was just meant to be a collective. And then the background there is Brandon's nice wallpaper, and then the CD art, the CD itself is just literally Brandon's kitchen wallpaper because it's the best kitchen wallpaper.
I love it.
You guys did a band photo in front of this wallpaper.
Yep.
Yes.
That was tagged along with. We took that photo and I used it for like the flyers, but then I waited for months to post it yesterday, which is always so fun because I just couldn't wait to post it because I'm really excited about the photo and excited about what we're doing. And
So, being called the Basement Tapes, I have to know, like, is it tempting to release this on cassette? Like, was there any talk?
yeah,
of it?
we did talk about that. Right now, cassette is just there's a really big turnaround, and some of the best places for distribution for that is the UK, and it's just a big turnaround. My big thing is I think I want to maybe like let's say like next year, let's do like we do something where we release tapes for it for like say that hey happy year anniversary of Basement Tapes.
Yeah,
And-
re-release on
yeah,
tape or something.
I think that's
coming
something
in.
that is definitely totally feasible. But at the same time, we're also really looking forward to, because we're already writing, like, we have a bunch of new stuff. So then I was like, we're also really excited about the new stuff that we have. So
All in
that's-
good time.
Yeah.
It seems like normally the case, like if you ask an artist what your favorite album is, it's always the new one. Even if I think if people truly don't believe that, you're promoting the newest one, so it's like, well, yeah, the new one's the best, or you're not sick of it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I suppose if you're writing new stuff, it is kind of taking a step backwards to also do this deluxe.
No, we still really love this record. I mean, these are songs that we've been playing for a really long time, and they're also a really big throwback for our supporters and our fans that have been with us since the original Basement Tapes, right? So.
I saw you and Nate on WAPL.
Yes.
The Rick and Cutter show the other day. You guys did Voodoo Chicken and King Eliot.
Yep.
Were the two.
Yep.
So I like what you did with the band, and you mentioned it when you were here last time. You've got the band built to where if certain members can't show up and do a show, that you can kind of still go out and do kind of a formation of the band. And the songs do sound different, which I think was one of the cool things of hearing the finished album is some of the songs that were in my head from hearing them, how you're playing them, like when you're
stripped down.
They sound really big and full. And I mean, has it been working so far, how you're kind of approaching it, doing it where you can do duos and trios?
I mean, I just think that if you show up and you have confidence and you have the willingness to like let the song change to the way that you think it should be in your head, you're good to go. You know, just play to the moment. And regardless of whether would I love to have my full band every time? Yeah, absolutely. But I tell these guys every show that we have, we touch base. I tell them that everything is an opportunity to learn. We all miss each other if the formation isn't full, but every single gig we play, we learn something, we have takeaway. And I think that being able to be flexible to this is the most important part because music it's fluid. You know,
we rehearse it generally in that version that we're going to do, but then it's fun to be quick on your feet.
Yeah.
Because that one show at Mile of Music, you didn't bring cymbals or something like that, right?
Yep.
And so I played my bass parts like really short and less sustained, and it was like boppier.
Yep.
Remember? So that was like a fun example.
It was, and
the
room we had to be quiet too because we played a little like broken down McFleshman set, and it was neat, and it was just neat. You know, it's a fun timbre to do. I'd like to be able to say that we can dynamically do whatever. Like if someone woke us up out of our dead sleep and was like, "You need to play," you know, like that's how I imagine it. Like Dave Grohl is just busting into my house and he's like, "What's up, asshole? Play a song," and I'm like, "Ah!" Yeah, and that's it.
And I saw you at Taylor Greenwood's house, and that was another different format that was without Nate.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's like you guys have been like shuffling people around, whoever can make it, and I
Yep.
think it's really been working out. And the songs are still there. It's just you're kind of getting a different flavor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a good takeaway from all of it, and understanding how the dynamics work, or seeing, oh wow, that's really weird without that person, or how do we, like, how do we make this transcend? How do we make it hit hard still? So that doesn't mean we don't miss each other. Like I said, man, all the time. We'd wish it was full band all the time, but
You just learn a lot. It's nice.
yep.
Shows like that where you're like playing outside. I mean, that's kind of a little different. Do you feel like is it less stressful doing those types of shows over playing at like Appleton Beer Factory tonight?
I don't know. I have the same amount of, I get the same amount of anxiety and like excitement. I wouldn't call it anxiety. And maybe there's a little bit of anxiety because it keeps it competitive, right? Like a little bit of anxiety is healthy. You're like, okay, I need to take this seriously. But I think the overall attitude is like we have something to learn from every single gig. We are not perfection. We're not perfection. We're going to mess up. We're going to have fun. And
Perfection is the enemy of good.
absolutely. So if we're not being authentic and we're thinking too hard about it, I guess like we just try to look at it like we love each other. This is going to be fun no matter what happens, because you can't. It's like the song King Eliot. I sing about this exact moment because it's just like you cannot obsess over a moment that you have no control over yet, right? You can practice, you can have fun, but like the biggest thing is just having fun. So I feel like personally I feel just as nervous, just as excited any show, whether I'm playing for free at the New Moon or whether we're playing at the Ben Theater. It is the same exact feeling, and if that feeling subsides, I should probably fucking quit.
The theater show you're talking about, I saw some cool pictures of that.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
mean-
beautiful theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked great.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was amazing
Yeah.
with Natural Satellite. It was great to collaborate with them.
We love collaborating
Jazzed
with
us
those
up and
guys.
they sound
Yeah,
aw- we-
jumped
they
on
sound
some of
great.
their tunes, and I think Freeing by them has been stuck in my head for like the last like 3 weeks. And
And then In My Head, is that the other one?
yeah,
That's
in
the-
my head is in your head. Yeah,
Oddly,
that's
that's
really
in my head.
good. It was fun. I wish that we could do that more often. I actually wish that we would have like set up a recording device and like done some cameras and stuff for that show, because I'm like, shit.
I hadn't an SD card in sight.
Yep, yep. And that's okay. I was like, those are the moments that I was like, uh-oh. Those are the things that I regret more, you know what I mean? Like trying to take more pictures and be in the moment that way.
Well,
But because I'm so present in the moment, I'm like too busy being like, this is awesome. So
Oh, it's in our
it was
head.
one of those that theater was just great. And I remember just doing the sound checking, and we just slammed this Natural Satellite tune, and Carly just like looks at all of us and she's just like, I love music.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. That's it.
Great
That's what
support.
it's all
Screw
about.
anything else, you know?
Yeah.
Let's go through this new album track by track.
Okay.
We'll start out with I Want a Lover, which to me it's a little different than what I'm used to hearing with the Traveling Suitcase. Like it, first of all, I'll say all the tracks are really good. I have now listened to them more than the couple times in the morning today. So,
Yeah.
but this track struck me. It's not what I was expecting normally when I hear the Suitcase.
Yeah.
But
It's a ballad, you know? It's a call to ask yourself, you know, this is a song I wrote in my 20s when I was really struggling with my identity and in and out of some really toxic relationships because I was so toxic myself. And was drinking a lot of whiskey, which I don't drink at all anymore. And I definitely haven't touched whiskey in a very long time. But it's just one of those songs that I kind of revisit every once in a while, and it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful ballad. It's one of those things that I know gets in people's heads. That hook line is really cool. But it's a beautiful song to sing because it is a good question to ask. I think asking our supporters, asking ourselves why we want love or where we find it or how we find it is just a really good thing. And I love the way that it turned out. I think that it really has this like Nashville sound to it.
Yeah, we ended up putting 12 strings on
yeah.
it at the last minute.
Yeah,
It was-
and that was the day that world-renowned 12-string guy like literally died, and we were just like, wait, what? It was
God.
weird.
Yeah, that's
I don't
right.
remember that dude's name.
Was that
but he
Gordon Lightfoot?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
That was
Yeah.
the day Gordon Lightfoot died.
Yeah, and it was
So
just kind of
legend.
like this weird, like, wow, we never put 12 strings on.
I think there's a hint of a Leslie on it too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we even threw
organ.
a Hammond organ provided by.
And
Dan
then
Manuel.
Steve Shawnee, right?
And then, yeah, the great Dr. Steve Shawnee violist extraordinaire. He just came in, improvised his parts on a Junker viola out of his trunk, and just is a legend at being he just improvised it really beautifully, and I just chopped some parts out and peppered him in.
Yeah, it sounds really good. It's just got a different mood, and I wanted to open the record with something that was good,
It's like a ramp up kind
and
of thing,
different,
right?
right?
Kinda ramps
But
you
it's
up.
something that just sets the tone, and I really kind of like opening our sets with either King Eliot or I Want a Lover, because it's like people are like, okay, and it just kind of warms them up, but it's not exactly who we are, right? Like, it's just like a first date. It's like our rising and our moon signs and our, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of, here's what we have, but this isn't who we are.
It's
Quite
good to have other
yet.
flavors
Open
too,
the
so you're not
door.
monotonous. and
Yep.
It's one of those things.
Then you go right from that into Wings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Which is a
Beefs up a
ramp,
bit. Yeah, there
yeah.
you go. Now we're taking off, right? Yeah.
You want to talk about Wings at all?
Let's talk about Wings. We put a lot of very fun. I'm going to talk about some superficial yet fun stuff. The special effects are handsome on that song, and we had a lot of fun dialing them in. Like we were up half the night, a couple nights, getting like just the phaser just right.
Oh
on
my
the
god,
drums
yeah.
and
Hours. All of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, it's 2 a.m. and we're
Neighbors
just
thought we were like
literally
scientists.
stuck on phasers right now. And I'm like, we need a phaser on top of a phaser. But like, there's a part in the song where I'm like, free. And like, I hit this like really crazy falsetto, but like, I wanted to we're really big. I'm a Matrix fan. I love
Sure.
The Matrix.
Yeah.
And I think I like, let's not open that wormhole, but I believe I believe in some Matrixy shit, and I just kind of wanted it to sound like I was ripping the cord out of my, you know what I mean, the Matrix cord out of my throat on that part. So there's like this really cool, like, I don't know, man.
Like you're leaving the Matrix.
Like I'm
you
leaving the
know?
Matrix in the middle of that
like,
song.
while it was happening, like while he's mixing, I'm like, oh, you're putting the Matrix thing in there, right? Like it is the Matrix thing.
Yeah.
It's perfect for that moment of being free, and then also the phaser on the master bus or whatever. I'd recommend that because it's just fun.
Yeah.
So do it.
Yeah, there was things that we wanted to do that were just out of this world that I was like, screw it. I don't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Why not?
Yeah, you
And
have you're doing it yourself.
Well,
so.
yeah, and there's no one to be like, well, no. And then I'm like, well, yeah. And I love it. I love the way it sounds. I think I love when we put phaser on like drum fills and just, it's just trippy. It's one of those things that come see us live and we'll rock out. It'll be raw. And I feel like because we made it ourselves though, like there's still that raw, like that record has raw energy.
I left some mistake. We left stuff in. We're just like, we're not fixing it perfect.
No,
you know what I mean?
no. There's mistakes. There's, I land funny on the end of Casanova, and I was like, no, keep it, because I was upset when I was re-recording the drums. So that's pure emotion in there.
It captures it.
Yeah, and like rightfully so. So it's just one of those things where we wanted to keep the raw emotion in there and keep the state. But Wings is definitely one of those songs where it has a lot of energy, yet we wanted to have fun with it and then keep it raw. So
That's a nice intro to the hard side.
yeah, that's kind of like, ooh, this band's dark.
Wings goes into King Eliot, which I love that song. It's I think kind of an intense song. It kind of builds, but King Eliot, of course, about a cat.
Yep, yep. It's interesting. King Eliot that song's 13 years old. It's a teenager at this point, and that song was written while my cat was still alive, and it was also written about being envious of a friend of mine who was in California, and that friend ironically passed away too. So like the full circle of things of like even the irony of the song. It's about not building envy, and trying to stop being selfish or self-centered. So the irony of it all is you just have to keep singing that song because there's no way that we always need humility, and that song is humility for me. And it's also full circle because that guitar riff was something that I used to play to my cat when he was a kitten, and like that was just something I would do and whistle to him, and he would come, be like, oh, I love that, So it's just a call to a soul that I loved, and still love very much. Yeah, we all like I said, me and Brandon live together, and all of us are cat people. We love cats. I mean, we love animals, but we're definitely cat guys. So
Literally, we're hybrids.
We're hybrid. We're actually cats.
And then the new parts I want to
It's been really hard the whole time just to not act like a cat.
But a shout out to the new guitar parts by our esteemed guitarists here. I mean,
Yeah.
they sound really cool. Because we've recorded this before, long ago. This is one of the re-recordings.
It never got released, actually. Like, not the way that we
with
had.
the trio edition. No, we did
no.
record it with trio.
Yep.
But,
So you didn't use any old tracks though. You re-recorded
it's
everything.
all new.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Everything's re-recorded.
Yep.
Well, I wanted these guys to have a chance to, Nate and Todd to really speak for what this is, because they've been united with us the entire time too, always kind of around and always with us, as we kind of talked about with the lineage last time we were here. But I don't know, you guys don't step on each other. You guys leave a lot of room. I think most of the time I'm asking them to turn their guitar amps up, which is really sweet. They don't fight with each other like that, and there's just room, and they give each other confidence, and they have a secret high. Well, it's not a secret, but they have this. There's no secret. It's such a big ramped up high five. I'm worried that I'm gonna have to cancel a gig one of these days because they both have broken wrists, because they are such good team players that every time we play a show, or every time, Do you want to do a mini one right now, or do you want to show everybody what
Right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm in the line of fire.
Just do it, like a little one,
Oh.
Yeah, I mean they run and jumpstart that quite a bit after, like separate side. We're like 20 feet in between, and I'm like, no, guys.
It's both how we get amped up for shows and then how we wind down after the show.
And they do it at band practice. They've been doing it since they met each other. So
Yeah.
Are you guys you have to learn both guitar parts, I'm guessing? So if one doesn't make it to a show, you kind of have to generally know.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean,
Does that get
there's things
confusing
that
during
Nate
shows
does,
where
I have no idea what's happening.
What he's doing either.
we let them be them. Like if we have shows where one is missing, they're still kind of doing what they do. They're not relearning too much of each other.
augmenting.
Yeah, it's more augmenting, because they speak for themselves, and they add their own individual piece on that. Yeah.
Casanova was first time I heard that one today. Tell me about Casanova.
Yes.
Probably one of the most dynamic.
Yeah.
If we're talking superficial sonics, I think.
I'm really
Max
proud
Hard.
of this one. That I will say, Casanova is my favorite song on the record, because I love the way it sounds. It's like a song that we've been playing for a long time. I wrote it about someone who passed. This is it, someone who passed away as well. A girl I saw for a little bit. I wrote that song about her, but then I changed the words around a little bit and changed the context as to kind of talk about my queer identity in a way too, where I'll never be allowed in hell, and pretty much how most people ask what's in my pants way more than anyone should.
Wait, you won't be allowed in hell or heaven?
Or yeah, won't be allowed in heaven. Yep. Whoops. I'm just sad. I'm sorry. I'm projecting. I would love to be allowed in hell.
Let me in.
Let me in. Earth is crazy. Yeah. No, it was just one of those things where I don't know. Wanted to turn the context around, and especially like the religious duality within the queer spectrum, and I don't know. This song is just really, really, really bluesy, and I love how like smoky it is, and we had a lot of fun. And a friend of ours, Joe Solomon, who's an amazing harmonica player, back in the day when we released that, he wrote a stanky harmonica, so I got a harmonica and tried to pay homage to Joe and how he played that song. And then in most of those songs and most of this record, Rob Murphy, our old drummer, is credited for writing stuff, because he really laid down the foundation of like drum tones and not having
bass parts are influenced by
Oh,
what
absolutely.
he was doing, for
Absolutely.
some of those old songs.
I augmented things, the way that I needed to for drumming and singing, but also like still try to keep, I think Rob played Casanova with 4 drumsticks,
He
2
did.
in each hand. And,
did some crazy
it was just like, and that's something I was like, I'm not doing that.
That's not legal.
No, yeah, no. Rob
These
does.
days you can't
Rob
do that.
Rob is a highway to the danger zone, and that's why we love Rob. But I can't. There's no way I can't touch that. So the way I can is just paying homage to him and making sure he gets his writing credits, because he's really done a lot for this EP and the way the drums are structured. So, but Casanova is just the way that it sounds on this record is kind of, I don't know.
I like it.
This record is exactly what I've always wanted this band to sound like. So it's really satisfying for me.
I'm still not sure if the drums are technically too loud. Let's have a poll. But like, they are really loud. But it's like I'm happy that they're loud. So it's like okay,
cool.
let's leave it because you just pounded them so hard, Nick, into the whole
Yeah.
top.
I think I have that on video of that take.
We all had our phones out. We're like, oh my god, you're
I was
smashing
like,
them.
Yeah, I smashed the shit out of that
what
song.
is happening?
Yeah.
I thought everything sounded really good. The bass, I was impressed with like you mentioned the bass lines. I thought it had some really good bass lines. The bass sounded really like, I don't know if crisp is the right word, but
I use some high end.
it stood out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a picker too, so on the bass and So I just kind of reckon that with some compression, and I try to make it stand out, and I do use Nick's kick drum to kind of bop it out of the way so that they can all just be a big bassy party, So anyway, I tried to mix it so everything could be really loud and stand out like that. So
Oh man, it's an arena of rock in that little
Rock
EP.
and roll.
It's just a kicking EP, man. I'm just so proud of it. I really am.
excited.
Mrs. Knife is the next song, and you played that one down here as well when you were here last time.
Yeah.
That you do some good intense vocal
Yep.
in that one.
Yeah, that's like my homage to "Make Yourself" by Incubus type vocals
so
and
that's
stuff.
why it's my favorite song.
Yeah,
makes sense,
yeah.
Hey, hearing all
it's
this Chili
stacking
Pepper
up.
talk, I used to hear you talk more about Incubus. It seems like the Incubus talk's kind of gone down a little bit.
I mean, I love Incubus just as much. Me and Nate are fucking Incubus
The whole intro
freaks.
to Wings for me was just a straight Incubus rip off. But
Yeah, I was like, maybe we're just ripping them off so much that I don't want to talk about them as much. Yeah, like, well, shoot, what are you talking about?
not go
Incubus?
there,
I don't know anything about Incubus. No, it's no. Nate and I have been playing a lot of Incubus all summer, especially when we do the twofer stuff. Like we play a lot of Incubus covers, and I'll probably post some of those too. We actually played a beautiful rendition of Mexico at the theater with everybody and with cello and everything.
Yeah,
and that was
playing that song with
it was so
the
good.
actual
This
cello
dude came
was
up with an
amazing.
Incubus sleeve, and he was like crying, and he was like, "That's the best thing ever." And I was like, "That's cool. That's all I needed. I needed that moment. Just you, just loving that. Okay, that's why we did it." Anyways, Mrs. Knife, Incubus Throw. It's also one of those it's cool, man. We played this hometown show with Horace Green and Feed the Dog, and there was a bunch of people and a couple high school bullies that I was like, finally, because the song is about being picked on at school and just never measuring up and just not fitting in. And there's a part because I'm talking underneath, but I went to Oshkosh West, and I used to just skip school, open the door, get on my skateboard, and just kick it to the skate park, and that the liaison officer knew to come and find me, but that song's all about just going to the skate park and trying to get away from the hatred that I was experiencing at school. So
Let me try to get the guitars nice and beefy. I think we were thinking of the Foo Fighters.
yeah, we really wanted a Foo Fighters wall of guitar sound on
inspired
that. Yeah.
sonically a bit there.
Yeah, I think of that song as a hardcore song. That's how I treat it.
It is. It's
Big,
really punk
chunky
rock.
guitars, and it's one of my favorites to play live because there's I don't use any effects in it, and it's just a couple of chords, and I can run around and go as crazy as I want, and yeah, it's just tons of fun.
And you play Nick's crazy solo, which is on stage, and on the record, I think it's mixed in with Nick's actual performance because we were recording it so long that you had a whack at it too.
Yeah.
You were playing.
We all
everything,
played guitar on that
so we
song,
were all
I
in
swear.
There's 4 or 5 rhythm.
I think I actually
Yeah. It's chunky, dude. It's chunky. But we wanted it to cut that way. I feel like it's kind of almost got this Deftones vibe to it too, which doesn't make any sense, but just how it cuts, their guitar sounds and their drum sounds when Deftones really strike in. It's just, especially on White Pony stuff, it's just fun. It's just really chunky. So
Do you guys tune down a half a step?
yeah,
Full step.
Whole step,
we're
a whole
full
step.
down.
Yep.
Yeah.
You ever accidentally start the show on your tuned standard?
Wow. No, I don't have any guitars in standard anymore.
I'm the one at risk.
What did you start?
I
the show?
started
I was
a
what did-
drop C on accident a while back.
I was like,
It
what
was
that?
it was one where I start the riff, right? And just bruh, 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 oh no. I'm in drop, because we do drop C for a couple tracks, and just it started out sounding so cool because I started out with the higher strings, and then that low one, immediately, It's wrong. It's all wrong. I should have just like quick
Did
gave
all
it a
the-
spin,
yeah.
but
That's I mean, those are like dude.
That's all fun.
Yeah, we laugh and we take something from every show, and you're like, oh shit, oh.
it felt really cool, and then I felt so uncool. Like, oh no.
The universe is like, you feel cool, huh?
Yeah.
How you feel about
Yeah,
this?
get back in your place.
At least you didn't do that on like a Rock Garden Live or a 30-minute music hour or something like that.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I had a nice beef on 30-minute music hour that I laughed. You know, we were laughing. I think I made a horror on Frog. I mean, and then we just like look at each other, just like, wow, we're on TV. It was so ridiculous.
I mean, you have to laugh at it.
Yeah,
you have
it's
to
the only
laugh
way.
at it.
It's the only way.
I'm like a mean coach sometimes. I'll strike a little look, but at the end of the day, I'll laugh at it. When we're in the moment, I can be fucking intense. It's okay.
Voodoo Chicken.
Yeah.
Why did that track get chosen to be the last track?
Well, that track is nuts.
The name is great, by the way.
Yeah, Voodoo Chicken.
Another one of our re-recordings, and
Yep.
it's an intense one for sure, right? I mean,
It is.
you don't
It
want to put it
is.
at the
This
beginning.
one's got like almost a breakdown that's like Primus meets like some like I don't know new metal. Like it's just really wacky, and it just opens up, and then the group vocals are incredible. Obviously Todd's got an amazing voice. Everybody in this band has a really good voice, but Todd's got this big voice, and you can hear him. And I love this track because you kind of have this like Frank Black kind of timbre to you, and it's so good. It reminds me of the Pixies. Somehow Voodoo Chicken is like Pixies meets I don't know new metal.
very
and all this-
unhinged because
yeah.
it has a bossa nova chunk in there. Too.
Yeah,
Like,
all of a
what the
sudden,
heck?
yeah, it breaks into a bossa
With
nova.
the
I play
didgeridoo going.
I play tons of didgeridoo on that, which I need to
I
start
put
doing.
auto
I need to start
piano
doing it
on.
live. I just don't have dude. Like didgeridoo holders online are like $200, and I'm
I
just
don't
like,
even know what that is. I nodded, but
you're like, what's
Oh,
a
it's so
didgeridoo?
good.
I should have brought one.
Those Australian instruments, those long tube, they're like. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tons of didgeridoo. I love didgeridoo.
is it limiting you, since you're on drums again, to do some of that stuff?
No, I can play drums and harmonica. I can pretty much play
Yeah.
drums and do anything
just
at the
tried
same
that the other
time.
night,
Yeah,
like-
I was playing drums and
that
harmonica.
works too well.
Yeah, I don't know
People
how.
are gonna be like mad.
I don't want it.
Why does this sound? How are you doing that? Why are you doing?
It's like tacky to wear a harmonica like braces and then play drums at the same. I feel like at this point, like some of the things, I'm like, this is weirdly, I'm good at this too, but this looks stupid. It looks dumb. It looks dumb to play drums and a fucking harmonica at the same time. It just looks.
Find a way to decorate it with something.
I don't know.
Make it look
Yeah,
cool.
I don't fucking know.
But you make it look good.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it,
right. People are gonna be like, I guess I gotta get one of those harmonica holders.
Yeah.
Just like a bunch of drummer harmonica players all of a
Yeah.
sudden. Like, what's. No!
movement.
This is not what we're doing!
So that's the album right there.
Yeah.
And do you guys have a favorite track, each of you? I know, Nate, you mentioned that. Was it?
Mrs. Knife is probably mine. Yeah, just 'cause I don't know. It's just like the rawest. I'm kind of a minimalist by nature. I don't really try to be that way, but that's just kind of how I am. So the fact that that one's just like really, just straight ahead, you know, and like there's, I don't know, there's it's just kind of it is what it is, you know,
There's no gimmicks, just rock.
and it's heavy as hell.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
heavy.
I like to rock.
We're going down the line, and I endorse your liking of rock, and I love and appreciate it. Let's say that my favorite might have to be Voodoo Chicken, because you know, like I was mixing all the songs, and it was like we kind of dialed them in. Some were slower than others. Voodoo Chicken just fell into place. I've always loved the song. It's a jam. It's the hardest on me. It could almost injure me someday, I dare say. And but like. Mixing wise, it came together, and that crazy effect, I forgot what it was, like the strange frequencies part.
Oh
You know,
yeah, I
so-
love that.
So
Yeah.
like I just messing around, found something really cool, and that was fun. And so I'm pleased with that one. I think it really pushes your speakers in a nice way.
Yep.
So happy with it.
I'm gonna cop out because like these are my favorite songs for 10 years. So to be, I mean, it was
You can't pick
more
a
than
favorite child.
more than cathartic to like get. Nick gave me the CD and I drove listening to it, and I'm like singing along, and then I stopped singing along, and I can still hear myself singing along to my favorite songs. so all of them are, I mean, just like any of the other Traveling Suitcase recordings that I was not involved with. Like, I'm like, oh, no, I couldn't pick a favorite. This one's my favorite.
Yep.
Casanova's the coolest one. Yeah, Ballad, or, Voodoo Chicken is, just, you gotta sing along to that. You gotta, and then just all of them. They're all like that, so, yeah.
So you got to cop out.
Casanova's the coolest sound. It just sounds cool.
It does.
It just
That's my
sounds
favorite
so
one.
cool.
It really sounds cool. It makes me feel cool. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Just and I love when you can kick a good drums without the snare on for half the song, and it just sounds sexy and just different. There's just a lot of room in that song, so it's a little bit different. But I really do kind of go back and forth. But I've been spinning the record I've been spinning my own record for the last couple of days and trying to get hyped for it. And, even last night I was like, I don't endorse Spotify, but let's put it on Spotify. I don't endorse iTunes, but let's listen. You know what I mean? Like, where it's just like, it's neat to see it everywhere and come to fruition. So thanks for having us here to talk about it and come full circle, because I couldn't wait to actually have something to talk about really with you and give you actually something, a t-shirt that wasn't from, 13 years ago.
Well, this is great. I appreciate this.
Yeah.
And, especially appreciate all your time coming in. But did you guys give the CD at the car test?
Oh, yeah.
'Cause
Yes.
I think the car test is pretty important.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Every
Yeah, it was
every
like the
step
car
of the way.
test was every step of the way.
Everyone's
I mean, that's
feedback
like
in the
everyone's
car.
feedback comes from like, dude, I feel like there's just even I work at Satori in Oshkosh, and I felt really bad because I was like, at one point, I'm like, listening to the record there to see what it sounds like on, because I hear music at work all the time. So I'm like, well, I have to hear this record because I need to know, you know what I mean? That was like the biggest thing for me. I was like, my ears are so used to this room but like everywhere, testing every room, every like phone stuff, everything, right? You kind of get insane.
And the phone was important for the vocals because certain parts would be like resonant.
Yep.
And I removed 95% of them.
I mean, some people, and that's unfortunate too. Like, I guess, like, because there's so many streaming services and like the way that people listen to music is fucking awful nowadays because they don't actually listen with like nice headphones unless like people are really like avid vinyl listeners but even so, like half the people that have vinyl collections, they're buying those cheap like little
Honestly.
like, oh my god, those little, again, you're not pumping out anything good. You're just you might as well just shit all over the record at that point. And I hate to swear like that, but like, dude, if you buy a Crosley and you're listening to vinyl, you cannot tell me that you love vinyl for the quality of its timbre. Like, you're not even hearing it.
Appreciate the spirit, but
The spirit's there. Get
It's
some
nice to hold.
it's the right way to be.
get some tubes.
Better gear, though.
Were you guys listening to it on different different speakers, and then coming back to Brandon and telling him? I mean, that must have been driving you nuts, and I'm sure
They were very kind. It was like kind of 11th hour coming along, because it was a later one, so they were very kind, and they limited it to like a few per song.
I think there was one thing it wasn't that big of a fix, but it was like something on I Want to Love Her, and it was just like, you were just like, damn it. Because it was just like one note, and it would just had this little weird frequency, and I was like, I'm so sorry, Brandon, but that frequency, and then it was just like, all you had to do was take your bass out, I think, or something, like, because it was it was the clash between the organ and that one note, and you were like, no, but I was like, the solution was easy.
I was in a whiny state at the time, and then I think I heard you were right, and I was like, oh yeah, no, never mind.
I mean, and that's what sucks. It sucks when you're like, we're almost there, and then you're like, oh shit.
What? I'm gonna undo everything? No, it wasn't bad at all.
I wasn't helpful. I just kept saying, "Oh, my
Todd
gosh,
just said it was
sounds
great.
so good." Oh my gosh! I just kept doing that.
So, Brandon, is it good to hear that feedback, or is it just as frustrating if you think somebody is going to think anything sounds good that you do?
No, I'm very happy to hear some heartening, nice words from. I mean, it's great. I mean, it was very helpful either way because I'm like, well, okay, he's good. And then Nate, you just had a few, and I was like, okay, yeah, everyone seemed pretty pleased with it, and I just trusted them.
Do you feel confident now where you might record the next release just how you did this one?
Well, I think we were saying definitely want to record
Yeah.
more, and I think when we do in the future, we'd
I
probably branch
have
out
this
for
like
fun.
fantasy of like going and like renting like a big house and just kind of dedicating the.
We could be funky monks too.
Yeah, I was like, that's really what I want. I want my funky monks real bad. I was like, because we kind of did that. We
First
did that.
album was
Yeah, the
in
first
the
album
cabin.
with redoing that. But then there was so much about that because we were just learning what we were doing, and then I got struck by lightning.
There's
And
certain
then-
things that occurred.
So it's just one of those things where I was like, I'd love to redo that without like half that shit happening. So
There's a storm. We'll record indoors.
yes,
time.
we just won't even record. We'll turn everything off and enjoy the storm from a safe place.
We will stop recording and just watch a movie.
Yes.
This album just came out today, so I don't want to get too far ahead, but when is the next one coming out?
I don't know.
Tuesday?
Well, we're gonna. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just you wait. No, we're writing up a storm right now. Right?
Yeah, we are, and I don't even want to put the pressure on us of thinking about like a release date or a time window or something.
When
I
there's
just
another
wanna-
EP, I think it'll just show up.
This has been
Yeah.
a heck of a year, and I think we all.
It hasn't
wanna-
even been a year.
Right,
I
exactly.
know.
And I think we all want to
Yeah.
just like take just a little bit of time to breathe and
Pace it
actually
the right
like
way.
actually have some time to write new material and all that stuff. So
Kick it with
We'll-
each
we'll let
other
you
without
know.
some
Maybe
pressure.
Maybe a
have a
single.
date.
Maybe a single. You know.
Yeah, I know there's a single coming. I think that single might be called Black Cadillac Hearse, but that's just, I don't know.
Black
Can't-
Cadillac Curse.
Little birdie
Black
told you.
Cadillac Hearse.
Oh, Hearse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you could go either way. Interesting.
Todd, have you heard the song?
I've heard it.
Sometimes he
played it.
plays on it, man.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes he plays on it, man.
Sometimes I'm just listening, I'm like, oh, you guys are so good. And I'm like, oh, shoot.
How many more bands are you going to join this year, Todd?
Yeah. Good question. Man.
I'm only allowed to join like 2 more tops.
Oh, it's getting limited.
And that makes for 12 bands.
Makes for a dozen.
That's good. Keep yourself busy, but hopefully not too busy.
I've never been this like last year or so, because it was only a little over a year ago that I did this show by myself with you, and you're like, what do you got to promote? I'm like, nothing. And now I'm busy for the first time in my life.
With everything all at once.
Yeah, so it's good. This feels good.
Beautiful.
Tonight, the CD release show, the album release show, it's taking place at Appleton Beer Factory, which, again, hats off to Mark and the rest of the team up there
Yeah, they
for
do
all
a
they're
great
doing.
job. Yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah.
It's,
Everybody, I know it's going to sound incredible because the whole crew on sound is amazing. Colin's great. I love seeing all those people. Yeah, I was like, it's just family. It's family tonight.
We're very
So.
excited.
Yeah.
doors open at 7:30.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah,
I was like, all I know is the time I need to be there. I always feel bad when I'm like explaining details, and I'm like, yes, my load ins at 5. Oh, never mind. These aren't the details that I need to explain to the public.
I just told my parents not to come. I'm like, I don't think we're starting until you're gonna be in bed. They were like, oh, if you start at 6, I'm like, there's no way that's happening.
No.
well, so the official times, doors open 7:30. Seesaw is at 8.
Yep.
Traveling Suitcase hits a stage at 9. How long do you guys think you'll play?
I don't know. I'm gonna play everything we've got. I'm
Nice.
just gonna make a set list of. I still haven't made it. We played a really good set last night, so I'm gonna probably shadow a little bit off of that and go straight into some of the stuff that we did last night and just. I don't know. I didn't want to put too much pressure on. You know what I mean? On this set, on this. We've had a really good summer, and I trust these guys really well. And I think when it comes down to the moment, I'll print out a really pretty looking set list and we'll play it to the best of our abilities and then we I don't know, we just have fun. So looking forward to it tonight, and we'll play everything we got until we're done.
There you go.
So.
Everything we got.
We might even, but I don't think we will, but we might play some new songs, but maybe we won't. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
I mean,
know. Can't confirm,
you
can't
never know.
can't deny.